Welcome to the Raven Space on YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is Raven Space News, where we talk about Baltimore Ravens news 3 days a week. I was not on last week. Technology sucks. I tried. I'm sorry. Now, we're going to get right into the topics. First, I want to say, please subscribe to the Raven Space on YouTube for the best Baltimore Ravens content on the internet. We have great stuff, great shows that will all be returning, so please check it out and subscribe, and also like and share this video. It helps us grow and helps us do things on the Raven Space to help you guys get your Ravens news and your Ravens fix. Now we're going to go for the topics of the day. First, we're going to talk about Hurst being re-signed. We're going to talk about Webb being cut again. We're going to talk about the AFC North news that happened over the weekend. And then, of course, my favorite segment of the day, the mailbag and the comment of the day. So now let's get into our first topic. James Hurst, you guys know him, the offensive lineman for the Ravens, has re-signed with the Ravens on a 4-year, $17 million contract. And guys, this is a situation where I honestly believe that we can kind of say that Jason was right. I don't have a sound effect for it yet, but I'll try to get it one day. But basically, this is starter money in the league for a guard, and it shows me that they like Hurst as a guard and they want to put him in a guard spot. I really honestly think this means that Alex Lewis is going to be relegated to a backup spot. The Ravens didn't have faith in him after the second injury, and I understand why. Hurst has been a healthy guy, and they'll plug him in. Do I think Hurst is the best option, best fit? No, but you pay him starter money, he has to start. Right now, with the cap situation the Ravens are in, you can't waste dollars like this on a backup. So I think he will start. They're paying him starter money, and so I think he'll be the left guard for the Ravens in the future. Now, am I overall happy about this? No, I'm not. I do not think Hurst is a starter, especially on the tackles. Can he improve? Yes. But when he was on the tackles, he was being victimized. When I say victimized, I mean it. Victimized. He was just too slow for the best pass rushers. However, at guard, hopefully he can be a little bit more stable. He doesn't have to have that mobility. But if there ever comes a time where someone gets injured, we need to have a better answer at left tackle than James Hurst. But for a guard, I'll take it. It is what it is. But I think he will be your new starting left guard in Baltimore. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments below. And I also think this means Alex Lewis is going to be a backup from here on in, unless they put him at right tackle. Now we're going to go to the next topic, and some more sad news here. But again, it's this time of year, and he knew it was coming, and we knew it was coming. The Ravens have released Webb, saving $1.75 million in cap space. This was news that, I was really expecting. And I know what you guys are thinking. Man, isn't Ladarius a little bit better than $1.75 million in cap space? He is, but the Ravens have so much talent. So much talent at that cornerback position now. Again, of course, you have Jimmy Smith, you have Brandon Carr, you have Marlon Humphrey, you have Maurice Kennedy. You're gonna have Tavon Young coming back. It's just so much. You have Jalen Hill, who I know they really did like in the preseason, but injuries never allowed him to get on the field in the regular season. But they have so many people that they like. I honestly do believe that they don't need Ladarius, and he's not going to help them out in the future. They even, at the backup safety, I believe his name is Chuck Clark from University of Virginia. I don't know off the top of my head, but they like him too. They want to see what he can do. So I'm going to say that this is a good move, because they need the space. They need that cap space to sign Ryan Jensen. Because if you re-sign James Hurst, I'm sorry, but don't re-sign Ryan Jensen, you're wasting everyone's time. And I honestly do think they'll sign Jensen. But in order to do that, they have to clear some cap space. And Webb is the first in a series of cuts that are going to happen. You might even see Brandon Carr leave. Rumors are saying that's less likely now. But you'll definitely see, I believe, Jeremy Maclin get cut because right now he's not worth it. And they have other players they need to sign who are more important. So again, sad story for Webb, great player. Let's go into his history a little bit. If you guys didn't know Ladarius Webb when he was younger, because of course younger fans are always, join the team. He was a very good corner. He was never one of the league's best corners. He was at that. There was one point in time where he was at that 7 to 8 area, maybe 7 to 10. But he was a number one cornerback on the Ravens. However, injuries happened to him. He got older. And again, when you're not a quarterback in the NFL, you get old very, very fast. They moved him to safety and had a great year with Eric Weddle. And honestly, in my opinion, when he was safety, he played better than Tony Jefferson played this year. But of course, Tony Jefferson overall is the better player. And so they keep Tony there. And next year, hopefully Tony has a big year and redeems. This year, it wasn't a horrible year, but it wasn't a year for one of the best safeties in football. But again, sorry, Webb. We love you in Baltimore. And thank you so much for your years of service. Now, we're going to go and talk about some recent news about the AFC North, specifically the Cleveland Browns. And I'm going to let you guys know this because I love you guys. It's going to be intense. And it's just because I'm seeing the same thing I saw last season, where I sat here and I told all of you guys, I told you all, hey, the Browns, the Steelers, and the Bengals beat the Ravens in postseason. I mean, not postseason, but the, after season, off season, whatever you want to call it. I fear the same thing is happening again. Now, you guys don't know, the Browns traded for Jarvis Landry, the second or first best receiver in the free agency class. If you guys didn't know, he was franchised. The Ravens traded for him on that franchise salary, hoping to work out a long-term deal. The Cleveland Browns also traded for Tyrod Taylor. You guys, of course, know Tyrod was a backup here for the Baltimore Ravens. Went to the Buffalo Bills. Did pretty well, honestly, for a scrambling quarterback that no one had high hopes on. And now he's a Cleveland Browns quarterback with a great offensive coordinator in Hugh Jackson. So there's a lot of ways you can look at this. Of course, it's going to be harder for the Ravens to compete with the Browns. The Browns are steadily getting better. And I'm getting a little nervous. Again, listen to this idea. In my opinion, there is literally nothing the Ravens can do to have a better receiving core than the Browns, the Steelers, and the Bengals. Right? I honestly do think if you sign Allen Robinson, which the Ravens will not do because the Ravens cannot afford that. If you sign Allen Robinson, it's still a competition of who has a better receiving core, the Browns or the Ravens. Now, you will never be better than the Steelers. They're right now their receiving core is so good, whatever. I even think the Bengals, led by AJ Green, have a better receiving core. So we're going to be, right as we stand right now, I don't think we can afford Allen Robinson. So let's say we resign Mike Wallace. We're still going to have a receiving core that is lower than the other three. Okay? I like Alex Collins a lot. I'd rather take Le'Veon Bell. I honestly believe that the Browns are going to draft Saquon Barkley. I'd rather take Saquon Barkley. And then the Bengals, they have a little funky stuff going on there with their running backs, but they have three good ones. I don't know who I'd rather take. I might still take Collins over those, but the other two, the Browns and the Steelers, you would not do that. Now, the only way we can redeem ourselves is to be better at quarterback than the Bengals and the Browns, and that's still to be seen. If Joe Flacco has up and down years, and if this year's a down year, you just don't even know. So I'm getting nervous. Let's see what the Browns do in the draft. But right now, if the Browns keep on doing what they're doing, they're going to have a better offense than we are. And that's like scary to think of, but it's almost true. So I think the Ravens are losing right now this offseason. Hopefully they make some free agency moves that makes me feel more confident, but right now I'm not confident. You guys let me know how the Ravens are faring so far in free agency versus the Browns and the Steelers and the Bengals. I really want to know your opinion. Now we're going to do the mailbag question of the day, sponsored by our Raven Space Patreons. You guys are the best. We got 2 more. You'll see your information next week. It takes me a week to upload those names at the end of the show. So this question comes from Corey Brissil. And Corey's question is, do you think Flacco will perform better next year? I know he had his injuries, but he is getting older and doesn't have much time left in his contract. So I'm going to say that he has to. He has no choice. Right now, we're at a point where, because he's making so much money, as compared to everyone else on offense, he needs to lead them. He doesn't have a choice. Ozzie Newsome and John Harbaugh made a bet. Their bet was, I'll take defense over offense. They made that bet by signing Eric Weddle, by signing Tony Jefferson, by signing Brandon Carr, by drafting Marlon Humphrey, by drafting Tyus Bowser, right? By drafting Tim Williams. They made that bet. All right. It's not new to us, guys. I didn't come into this season thinking, oh man, we need a receiver. I didn't know that. Right? We knew that for years, right? We didn't come in thinking, oh man, this offensive line has some holes in it. We should probably fix that. Right? These aren't new to us. So Joe Flacco has to be better. Will he be better? I don't think so, honestly, because I think his receiving options right now looking like they may be not on par or lower. So I would right now say no. I hope he does, because if he doesn't, this team is not going to make the playoffs again. I don't care how good a defense is. In today's league, especially in the AFC, you have to have great quarterback play to win it all. And it doesn't matter how good Jacksonville is when New England's putting up 40 burgers on you. It doesn't matter how good your defense is. And that should be a reminder to all you fans who want that defense. And, you can't, because Tom Brady's going to win. He's going to beat you, right? You have to be good on offense. Just like when we were able to beat the Patriots in the playoffs, Joe Flacco performed at a high level. That's what we need. You can't expect to beat the Patriots 21-14. It will not happen. So, again, I'll go back. I don't think Joe Flacco will be better next year, because right now I don't think his options and his receivers will be better next year. So, now we're going to go to the comment of the day. And this comment comes from Frankie B9, and he says, Chris Moore could really be good if he got some of that attention that Perriman has gotten from the coaching staff. Moore was such a better draft pick. And I think Anthony Miller is someone the Ravens should get even if they have to reach for him in the second round. The guy's hungry and angry. Thank you so much, Frankie B9. I won't really comment on the Anthony Miller thing too much, other than to say that there are a lot of good receivers in that second round area. I only think there's one receiver worthy of a first round pick, but there's a lot of good receivers worthy of second round pick. So we'll see how that goes. Now to get back to your comment about Chris Moore. Chris Moore has some of the tools that you want in the toolkit. Speed guy. As a returner, he has to have some change of direction. Not as good as players like Campanero, but he, has some of it. What is his potential? The issue that you had with Perriman is that his potential is a number one receiver. Is Chris Moore's potential another number one receiver? I don't think so. I think he can be a good number two. I think he'd be very similar to a player like Mike Wallace. But can he be a constant number one receiver that Brashard Perriman has the potential to be? I don't think so. And that's why I think that they're spending more time with Perriman, because if you hit on Perriman, you have a very special player. If you miss on Perriman, you have a player that takes up 40% of your snaps, but drops the ball 20% of the time. So I would say I see what you're saying. Perriman has a higher ceiling, but he also has a lower floor than Chris Moore, and that's never a good thing. So that was the end of the show. Thank you guys so much. I'm happy to be back. I'm sorry. If you guys can tell, my demeanor was a little off because my computer crashed 3 times trying to make this episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll try to be back on Wednesday. Hopefully my computer does not do anything crazy. Thank you guys so much, and go